The trustee.
Sir, you need to stop. You're being in contempt of court. You need to stop or I'll have the officer assist you in stopping. All right, Missy,
false imprisonment.
I want you to stop talking or you can go upstairs to the county jail. Now, do you want to go to jail tonight? The second
I also have a right to understand the nature of this. I have a right to understand the nature of.
If you don't want to listen to me, you can go to jail.
I'm not being disruptive. I'm just trying to understand the nature and cause of the charge.
All right, officers, I'm gonna close.
What am I doing? I'm sitting here trying to understand the charge.
If he gives any more grief.
Your Honor, can I please go home? Your Honor, can I please go home? I'll leave.
All right, guys. Today we've got one of the most ridiculous sovereign citizens we've ever seen on this channel. This guy is in court for not having valid insurance and for speeding, yet he's acting like the whole thing is a joke. And to top it off, he's even facing possible jail time. Instead of taking it seriously, he's out here arguing with the judge like they're just casually debating who gets the last slice of pizza. Bro, this isn't a frat house, it's a courtroom. What do you guys think? Is he just completely clueless? Or is there something else going on? And how do you think the judge handled this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Oh, and be ready. This guy loves his word salad. Let's go ahead and dive in.
Mr. Johnson, appearing in person and pro se. Your name tag on your uniform says Johnson, so I presume you are Mr. Johnson. Now, sir, if you could get right in front of that microphone, thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can. Sir,
yes.
You're charged in count 1 with speeding 82 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. That is a traffic infraction. It is not a charge that carries any jail time. It has a scheduled fine. 82 and a 65 is $87, but then there's also 108 court costs. In count 2, you're accused of operating your motor vehicle without proof of insurance. Now, if you had insurance but just couldn't find it, you can get the proof to the county attorney and she'll probably dismiss that charge. If, in fact, it had lapsed or something was happening so that you didn't have insurance on the vehicle at the time being January 4th, 2024, that is a B misdemeanor. The maximum penalties as far as jail time would be 6 months, although probation is usually granted. There is a mandatory minimum fine the court must impose of $300, but it could be as high as $1,000. You do have the right to hire any attorney of your choice. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. You can waive your right to counsel and represent yourself. Another option, you might be able to apply for diversion. That is where you apply, and if the county attorney approves you for diversion, you would pay agreed upon fines, costs, get your insurance current, and pay a diversion fee, and she'd dismiss the charges and keep them off your record. If you want to talk about diversion or anything else with your attorney, you certainly will have the opportunity to do that. Your pleas, you have a choice of pleas. You can plead not guilty, and we can set this for trial at a later date. You can plead guilty, admitting the charge, and we would proceed with sentencing. Or you could plead no contest, which is neither admitting nor denying the charges, but you'd still most likely be found guilty and we'd proceed to sentencing. If you want to look into diversion, we'll enter a not guilty plea to give you time to do that. You can always change your plea, but once you're convicted, pre-trial diversion is off the table. So
probably not eligible for diversion based on his driving record.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to talk to an attorney then and discuss whether or not you have a defense? Or?
No, Your Honor. I would like to request a declaratory judgment due to there is no agreement for my performance under any agreement or commission of this court.
Well, I don't need an agreement from you, sir. So if I were,
Well, Your Honor, I simply do not understand the nature and cause of the accusation with regard to the jurisdiction of the venue and nature of this action until the prosecutor properly alleges them there. I cannot enter a plea to the charge until I have the opportunity to raise a meaningful defense on my behalf.
I can already feel the tension building with Judge Webster. You can practically see the patience draining from her face in real time. This sovereign citizen really thinks that throwing together a word salad about freedom and jurisdiction is going to get him out of this. Spoiler alert, it won't. The law is pretty straightforward. If you're driving without insurance or a valid license, you're breaking the rules. No amount of made-up legal nonsense is going to change that. I honestly don't understand how these people convince themselves that they're above the law. Like, how do you even get to that point? There's got to be something deeper going on with them, and where do they even get this stuff? Is there some secret YouTube rabbit hole I need to check out? Because there are way too many of these people out here believing the same nonsense. But just wait. This guy is about to take things up a notch and actually get aggressive with the judge. Let's dive back in.
all right, I will then, since you cannot enter a plea today, I will enter a not guilty plea for you and give you
I
time.
object, Your Honor. I object to you entering a plea to me because I must understand the nature and cause of these accusations. So I do not agree to you entering a plea on my behalf.
Well, your position is taken and I'm still going to do it. I will note your objection for the record, but I'm going to enter a not guilty plea.
Well, I object to you
Your
entering a plea on
objection
my
is
behalf.
noted. Your objection is noted, and if the time comes, you can appeal that to the Court of Appeals. Now, on the issue
Well,
of
who is,
attorney,
Your Honor, I would like to ask, who bring these charges against me? I should have the right to
all
question.
right, we're not going to have this debate right now. I've told you your charges. I've told you the state of Kansas has filed those through its attorney, Jill Gillette. Now,
Well, I would like to
all
call
right,
the
I'm going
state to the, I would like to call the state to the stand, Your Honor.
We're
The
not doing that,
state bringing charges against me. Who is it? How did I injure the state?
All right, this is your first appearance. I advise you of your rights. I advise you of your charges and possible.
Your Honor, I object to the proceeding, for I do not know the nature and cause of the
I'm
proceeding.
entering a not guilty plea. Missy, when is?
I object to you entering I object to you entering a plea on my behalf. I do not grant you that right.
Missy?
The court date,
You're supposed to act as a trustee.
Sir, you
No.
need to stop. You're being in contempt of court. You need to stop or I'll have the officer assist you in stopping. Missy?
Well, Your Honor, I would like to also bring to
September
42 USC 12203.
Deputy Miles.
And also
did you,
Article 3, the judge must operate in good faith and good behavior. So therefore, if you're making a threat towards me, then
Deputy,
that's
if he's going to
urging
keep
me
being
perform in your
contentious, I'm going to
court.
have you take him into custody on contempt.
Then that would be illegal search and seizures, Your Honor.
Wouldn't you need to go back?
It will.
All right,
It's
Missy.
false
I
imprisonment.
want you to stop talking or you can go upstairs to the county jail. Now, do you want to go to jail tonight?
Your Honor, again, Title
Deputy
42
Miles, could you come in and
USC.
assist the defendant?
September 27th at 9 o'clock will be the court date.
September 27th, you said 9 o'clock?
Yes.
9 a.m. You must be back here, sir, in person at the courthouse, or you will be arrested for failure to
Your
come to
proceeding,
court.
Your Honor.
Now, that deputy there is going to take you into custody if you cannot control yourself through the remainder of this hearing.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just enforcing my right, Your Honor.
All right, so your first right is to have a hearing date, and that is September 27th, 9 a.m. The
Your
second
Honor, I
right,
also have a right to understand the nature
Sir.
of this.
This guy seriously cannot. Take a hint. If I were the judge, I wouldn't have hesitated to hit him with 30 days for contempt by now. Huge props to Judge Webster for keeping her cool. Because, let's be real, most of us would have either muted this clown or had him in cuffs already. Now here's the thing. When this sovereign citizen claims he has a right to know the nature of the charges, he's technically not wrong. That's a fundamental part of due process under the Sixth Amendment. But the judge has already explained the charges multiple times, and this guy still refuses to listen. Instead, he acts like she's running some kind of shady secret trial. It's honestly bizarre. At this point, it's not about understanding the law. It's about being so stubborn that even a clear explanation feels like an attack. The real question now is, how much patience does this judge have? Well, we're about to find out.
I have a right to understand the
All
nature
right.
of the cause.
If you don't want to listen to me, you can go to jail. Do you want to know, do you want to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
No, I do not. I don't need to hire an attorney, Your Honor.
You want to represent yourself?
I don't need to hire an attorney. I would like for you as the judge, Your Honor, to explain to me the nature and cause of the.
All right, I'm not going to appoint an attorney if you don't want me to. If you want, you said you don't want to hire an attorney. If you want to apply for court appointed, the officers have forms there that you can fill out. If
I
you
just
don't
want to
fill them
understand the
out,
nature
I'm
and
going-
cause.
If you don't want to fill one out, I'm going to assume you don't want an attorney. And then if you come to court September 27th at 9 a.m., you're going to be representing yourself if you don't hire or apply for court appointed. And so you've got the third issue, does he have a bond? Looks like you do because you failed to appear February 27th at your first appearance. So bench warrant was issued, bond was set at $1,000 cash for professional surety. Looks like that was posted. Looks like you made a cash bond of $1,000. Does that sound right? You put up $1,000 cash back in July 12th?
I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of this allegation, Your Honor.
I will continue your bond unless you get yourself hauled into jail on contempt before you leave. I will continue your bond with the condition that you reappear here in person at September 27th at 9 a.m. So you've got your court date, you've got your bond, and we've talked about your lawyer. Now, you're wearing a U.S. Army uniform with the name Johnson on it. Are you in or have you been in the United States military?
Your Honor, I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of the allegation, Your Honor.
All right. If you can leave the courthouse now without any further disruption, I will let you do so. But I'm going to have those officers escort you to make sure you do so. So, Ms. Gillette, anything further?
Your Honor, it is your oath to explain the nature and cause of the allegation against me. Are you failing to do that?
All right. You can either walk out the front door with the officers, or you can walk upstairs to the county jail with the officers.
Let me know in the comments. Do you think this guy is going to spend the night in jail, or finally shut his mouth and leave like the judge told him to? Because at this rate, it could go either way. He actually has a choice here, and I have no idea why he's refusing to take it. The judge has given him so many warnings, practically begging him to just cooperate. But nope, he's glued to his little script like it's some kind of magic shield. Fun fact, this guy was literally in the Army, which makes this even crazier. The military is government property, so how does that even work with his whole, I don't recognize the government thing? I have no clue how he made it through the military acting like this, because we all know that nonsense would not fly there. At this point, I'm starting to think something is seriously off. Like, is this guy dealing with some kind of issue? Is he on something? Because I just cannot make sense of this one. Let's dive back in.
The choice is yours. Either leave
Your Honor, I'm trying to
or leave
understand.
disruptively.
I'm
Well,
not
that's
being
why an
disruptive. I'm
attorney
just
can
trying to
help.
understand the nature and cause of the
All right,
charges.
officers, I'm gonna
What
close
am
it.
I doing? I'm sitting here trying to understand the charge.
If he gives any more grief,
All I'm asking is to understand the charges. This is
I've
for
told
the
you the
record. You said it's for the
charges.
record, so I'm trying to understand what am I
I've
being
told you
charged?
the charges. Goodbye, sir.
I just want to understand the nature and cause of the charges, Your Honor. That's all I ask. It is your
I've
oath
gone
to
over
give me
those
that.
with you. If you tell me what kind of questions you have, I'll be happy to answer them, but I've already told you.
Okay. Under what jurisdiction is these charges being brought to me under?
The state of Kansas has charged you with speeding 82 and a 65 and operating in a motor vehicle without liability insurance on January 4th, 2024 in Greenwood County, Kansas. You failed to appear for your first appearance and a bench warrant was issued and you were arrested and you made a bond of 1,000 cash or surety, posting a cash bond. Now you have to go to court and you have to answer those charges. You can
Your Honor, I
have
don't
a
know.
trial if you like, and the burden will be on the state of Kansas to either prove or disprove. If they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, you're let go.
Well, I'm still trying to understand under what jurisdiction am I being charged under, Your Honor? That's all I'm trying to understand.
You're being charged under the jurisdiction of the state of Kansas under its criminal.
But according to the Constitution, there are only two
All right,
jurisdictions.
we'll have that on a later date. We'll be at recess, officers. Please escort him one way or the other, depending on his behavior.
But I'm still not understanding what you're charging me with.
Goodbye. We are adjourned.
But if she's the judge, I'm supposed to have clear and concise of what I'm being charged with.
The judge just said if you give us any problems with it.
I'm not giving y'all a problem. I'm trying to.
So you have to put you in handcuffs and
Well, I'm waiting on this, Your Honor, to explain.
All right, Missy.
But that's it.
That's our last case on the docket, isn't it?
This is not good.
Yes.
All right. All right. Ms. Gillette, I'll see you at 3:30 docket.
Your Honor, can I please go home? Your Honor, can I please go home? I'll leave.
All right. Well,
Can I go home?
I left it up to them and I left it up to you and then they were to behave accordingly.
I have never seen a court case this weird in my life. This dude was practically begging to go to jail. Like, maybe he's homeless and just wanted a place to stay? I really don't know. But the judge broke everything down for him, explaining the charges and the jurisdiction in the simplest terms possible. And somehow, this guy's slow brain still couldn't, or wouldn't, process it. The perfect mix of arrogance and delusion was on full display here. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if this was a case of stolen valor, because there's no way someone this ridiculous actually made it through the army. It just doesn't add up. But let's talk about the bigger issue here. Sovereign. Citizens as a whole are just a massive waste of time and resources. Judges, clerks, and everyone else in the system are stuck dealing with their tantrums, while real cases that actually need attention get delayed. Taxpayers are footing the bill. For these circus acts, also these people can argue made-up legal theories that don't hold up anywhere. It's beyond ridiculous, and honestly, I feel bad for anyone who has to deal with them in court. It's like they live in their own little world where facts don't matter. So what do you guys think about this case? I think this guy was an idiot, but I also think the judge handled it really well. She gave him a few chances, and when he refused to listen, she snapped on him. Overall, this was an entertaining case, even though it was a complete waste of time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everybody.